making small actionable steps that lead up to the lifestyle that you want to live. Hey friends, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're a returner, thank you for coming back. So today I have a new kind of video for you guys. We're going to be talking about how to get your life back on track. So if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're feeling a little anxious, maybe a little all over the place. Maybe you're a little disappointed with where you are with your yearly goals, or maybe you didn't set any and now you're kind of just feeling all out of whack. Look no further. I have a lot of tips and tricks about how we're going to get our lives back together. You know the drill. Get a snack, get a drink, and let's get into the video. Okay friends, so this is how we're going to get our lives back on track. So first of all, let's define what on track looks like. This is gonna look different for every person. So I know for me, having my life on track means that I'm doing good at my day job, I'm being consistent with my workouts, I'm eating healthy, but I'm not restricting myself. You know, I'm consistently engaging with my online communities. You know, I'm posting consistently, I'm active on social media, I'm not being a recluse. Just overall, I'm nurturing myself, I'm nurturing my home, I'm nurturing my relationships, and I'm nurturing my friendships. So I want you to define what having your life on track would look like for you. You know, the best version of yourself. What does she do on a daily basis? Does she work out every morning? Does she eat really healthy? You know, is she showing up to work at 8 a.m.? What does that look like? And make sure that it's realistic. You know, like refer to yourself in a time where you felt like you were really on top of your shit. And what did life look like right then? This is not an exercise of let's try to be the absolute best we are right now, because that's how you get stuck and that's how you get to a point that you're feeling overwhelmed. What we're trying to do is just take the baby steps towards that best version of ourselves. This might take some deep reflection. You might want to take a day or two to journal about what is it that is the gap between where you are right now and where you used to be or where you want to be. And what we're going to do is essentially break that down into actionable steps. This way we can take the grandeur of the whole thing of getting your life back on track and make it into a small, concrete action that you can do on a daily basis. Y'all know that I never talk about something that I haven't either been through or I'm going through. So mini story time of what happened to me that was kind of the catalyst for I need to get my life back together. So let's rewind to this time last year, 2023. I was just having a really bad time with my health. I came into 2023 gone 3 years without getting COVID. I was one of the lucky ones. And then January 2023, I was supposed to go on like a week and a half long work trip, and I was supposed to go to multiple cities. And I was feeling like a little bit under the weather. So I said, let me just take a COVID test just in case before I go catch my flight. I take my COVID test and I have COVID. So I have to cancel my work trip and I have to stay at home and isolate for the whole week. Luckily, COVID wasn't as bad for me, but that kind of started like a domino effect. I basically got long COVID and my immune system was compromised and I was getting sick like every 4 to 6 weeks, to the point that there was even, I want to say before or after that, I got really sick with the flu and I got bronchitis. I was in the ER. Like it was really dramatic and it was really scary. You know, like I could not breathe. I was not feeling good. I was not my best self. So after that, it felt like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Every time I kind of got into a groove and I felt like, you know, I'm getting back to where I used to be, I would get sick again. And I kept getting sick. Like every other month, I kept getting sick. And it was to the point that it was, I think, April or May of this time last year, I went to one of my friend's weddings down in Texas, and I get sick during the wedding. So like the day I land, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I let it go because my COVID test was negative. But the next day it gets worse, to the point that I had to leave the wedding reception early. And I remember being in the Uber in tears because I just felt like a shitty friend, but I was so sick. Like I felt like absolute crap. After that, that was kind of the moment that I looked at myself and I'm like, we need to get our shit together, because I cannot continue my life feeling like this. Like I cannot continuously have to fight my immune system every 2 to 3 months. And that was, in a weird way, a big catalyst for change around everything in my life. So everything I'm about to tell you guys to do is exactly what I did last year in order to get myself to the place I am now. So the first thing we're going to do is to determine the habits that we currently have that we frankly need to nip in the bud. In order to do that, you have to find a way to realistically break these habits. Now, y'all might not want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyways, and I'm saying this softly. You might have to get in control of the mind-altering things that you take on a regular basis. So for me, I'm a baby, I don't do drugs. So for me, this was really just coffee, drinking, and a little bit of Mary Jane. So after getting really sick last year, I was actually able to quit one of these three cold turkey. It just became super unappealing to me, the idea of smoking or anything, so I honestly just quit it and I never touched it again. In terms of coffee and cocktails, I decided to go for substitutions rather than trying to quit those cold turkey. So with coffee, I switched out coffee for a morning juice. So I'm a big fan of pressed juices. I love the VIP membership with pressed juice. I think it's definitely worth it if you buy a lot of juices from them. And I started doing like a lemon ginger type of drink every single morning. I found that the ginger drink kind of still made me have that like energized feeling in the morning. Plus, I just like having a drink. I'm one of those people, I have 3 drinks on my table at every moment. So having a pressed juice rather than a coffee all the time was great because it was helping me with my anxiety, it was helping me with my immune system, but also it was making sure that I wasn't crashing midway through the day. And then on the other hand, with alcohol, I used to be someone that would drink almost every single night. I would either have a glass of wine or I would have a cocktail every single night. Like, I was just someone that liked to drink, and it wasn't even like, I don't really go out for real, so I'm not really ever taking shots and going out and like binge drinking. That's maybe like once a blue moon for me, but in terms of just like having a cocktail, I was having a cocktail or 2 like every single day. So in order to get rid of this habit, rather than quitting alcohol cold turkey, I substituted it. I decided I'm gonna drink more kombucha. And I think I've talked about this in another video that I don't know what happened. I went from disliking kombucha to being a huge freaking fan of it. So now it's like anytime I get groceries, I usually get like the big jugs of kombucha, or if they have a deal, I'll get like 3 mini bottles and I'll drink them half at a time. And I find that at night, like pouring a kombucha in a wine glass feels just as fun as drinking a cocktail, and you're drinking less calories. And lastly, before I leave this alone and stop bothering y'all, you might need to put down the Mary Jane. And a lot of people don't want to hear this because a lot of people are like, oh, it's not addictive, da 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 da. I do personally believe in the medicinal value of marijuana. I'm not telling you if you have a medical marijuana card to stop smoking because you genuinely have a reason to. I'm saying that if you're doing it recreationally on a regular daily basis, it is definitely holding you back. And I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. Not smoking for the past some years has been so pivotal for my success. I was able to grow on TikTok. I was able to come back to YouTube. Like, I was just able to get my shit together because I had more brain space. And I actually just moved away from the flower and moved to like edibles and tinctures. Because again, I do believe they're medicinal. I do think they have value, but it's less of a daily recreational thing and more of a, hey, I'm gonna use this because I wanna have fun on the weekend type of vibe. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore, and let's move on to the next subject. So now that we've identified the habits that we wanna break, it's time to determine the new habits that you wanna form in the place of those habits. So number 1 for me was getting back into a regular workout program. I used to be, and if you followed me for a while, you remember I used to be a personal trainer, so I would post fitness content all the time. But obviously, once I got into the workforce, I decided not to continue with my personal trainer career because I didn't want to work as a personal trainer full time. It also affected the way I looked at the gym. I found that I could not get into a regular workout program because I was so hyper focused on my weight and not just focusing on daily movement. So I had to change the way I was looking at fitness and create something that was more fun for me so that I could maintain it on a daily basis. So for me, this meant shortening my workouts. I decided to start doing 30-minute workouts every single day. And now I've kind of creeped back up. My workouts are probably 45 minutes to 60 minutes. But in order to get back into my flow, I found that 30 minutes, quick hit, we're gonna come into the gym, we're gonna power walk for 10 minutes, we're gonna do a 10-minute circuit with 3-4 different exercises, and then we're gonna do like a 10-minute sprint. I was so like bam, 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 bam. So then when I got to the gym, I was in and out in like 40 minutes tops. So then it became hard for me to tell myself I'm not gonna go to the gym because on any given day, I'm like, you have 30 minutes. Come on, girl, you got 30 minutes. Even the busiest person on the world has 30 minutes. Or you can wake up 30 minutes earlier and fit it into your morning. But I just found that by telling myself 30 minutes of movement every single day, non-negotiable, all of a sudden I was going to the gym 4 to 5 to 6 times a week. And I was looking forward to it because it was like, this is just a quick little thing I'm gonna do, break a sweat, and then we start our day. So the next piece of the new habits that I wanted to form was to change my diet. Once I saw how sick I was getting, I was like, I need to fix my diet so then my diet is actually helping my immune system. So with that, I transitioned into a more anti-inflammatory diet. I also did this because of how severe my asthma was. I found that by changing my diet, it actually helped the way my lungs felt on a regular basis. So the other thing I started to do was basically replicate the meals that I would like to eat. I'm someone that I eat out a lot. Y'all know if you follow me on TikTok, I eat out a lot. I probably eat out 2 to 3 times on any given week, and that's like a low. That's like on the low end. So what I started to do is essentially replicate the meals that I like to eat out. And this is because I had more control over what was going into my meal. I could, substitute what I didn't need, instead of having a bunch of rice or wheat, I could change it for something else, I also cut out excessive carbs. So this is because I found out that I was pre-diabetic. So this was also part of the reason why I kept getting sick. So I cut down on the rice, I cut down on the bread, I cut down on the pasta, and I started incorporating more fish and more fatty, healthy acids, and just essentially trying to have a more anti-inflammatory diet. This is something that I look to others for a lot because I'm good on the fitness side, but when it comes to food, I'm so used to just eating whatever I want that I'm not really good at creating recipes in terms of like what would be a good meal. So I found that by replicating meals that I actually liked, and then also looking online for anti-inflammatory meals, I was able to create a meal plan that I actually was enjoying. I wasn't eating it and feeling like I'm on a diet or like, ugh, like I don't want to eat this. So it made it easier to stick with the diet because then I was also seeing how much better my asthma was getting, how much better my health was getting. I could run more, I could do more in the gym. So it just holistically started to tie itself together. So I hope you're seeing the general pattern here of essentially we're gonna take something we do and we're just gonna improve it a little bit. And then we're gonna take one more step to the right and improve it a little bit more. We're not gonna try to do everything all at once. We're just gonna take our baseline and say, what's the next notch up? And once we get to that notch, we're gonna take it another notch up. So once I kind of had my workouts and my eating plans solidified, I started doing more things in general to take better care of myself. I started having hair wash days every Thursday. I used to be someone that would wash my hair like every 3 to 4 weeks. I started washing my hair every single week. And the reason was it was like a release. It was something I looked forward to. It was a self-care item and it also made my hair grow. I also started to have luxury skincare days, meaning that I had one designated day where I did my face mask, I did the under eye mask, I exfoliated, I did all that stuff. I usually would do this on a Monday or a Friday. And again, this was just something that it made me look forward to that day of the week because it's like I love the feeling of having like an at-home facial. So basically creating little things that one, are gonna help you save money, but 2, are gonna help you take better care of yourself and making it fun. If you wanna have like a bubble bath every Friday, then that's nice. Like that's something to look forward to. Or if you can afford to go and get a facial every week, or you can afford to go get a massage every week, add that into your weekly plan because when it's good for you, your body's gonna thank you, but also it's going to create this pattern in your head that it's important that I take care of myself at every moment of the day. So as you've identified those new habits that you want to form, the key is to marry them to things that you already do. So for example, with working out, I am someone that's naturally an early riser. It kind of sucks. I've always been an early riser. I always just wake up at like 5:36 and my body's like, get the hell up. And I'm like, okay, even if I'm not like, I'm like still tired, but my body's still awake. So what I found is instead of waking up and dreading it and rolling in bed for 4 hours, I would just get up and say, all right, time for my 30-minute workout. And now it's so innate that even on the weekends, I wake up at 6:30 and I'm in the gym by like 8, just because I'm working with my body instead of working against my body or being frustrated with this natural trait. I started to use it to my advantage. So if you're the opposite and you're a night owl, you find that you can't sleep at night, go work out. Go and 9 p.m., go get your workout in, tire yourself out, take a nice little shower, and then hop in bed. And maybe that'll make you fall asleep easier. But then also you can create a routine of it instead of just sitting up every night being frustrated that you can't sleep. Use it to your advantage. Marry the new habit to something that you already do. Another example is with my meals. I'm someone that when I eat out, I would say once a week, if I'm eating out, I'm getting some kind of Asian cuisine. Whether it's Korean food or Japanese food or Chinese food, I love Asian cuisine. That's my favorite cuisine. So I would just basically start buying those items from the grocery store. I would look up the recipes and I would buy them and I would make them myself. And then it was nice because now it's like, oh, I get to eat Chinese food on a Tuesday, but it's not unhealthy because I made it. What a lot of people don't realize is that the key to major change in your life is not this abrupt switch. It's really making small actionable steps that that lead up to the lifestyle that you want to live. So if you've gotten to this point in the video, I hope you're feeling inspired. I hope you're feeling ready to get your life back on track and restart your journey. And as your friend who has done this and is still doing this with you, let me tell you a few things that I wish I heard before I started this journey myself. So first of all, be patient. You're not going to change everything all at once. And this is why I said it's important to identify what habits you want to break and what habits you want to form, so then you can write this down and have it almost as your North Star. So anytime you're feeling lost or you're feeling like you're getting back into a rut, you can come back to this list. And I frankly do this. I probably have to get my life back on track every 4 months. It's just a part of being human. So don't feel like if you fall off for 2-3 weeks that you failed. Just be patient with yourself and get back on the horse. Second of all, don't feel the need to announce or discuss your goals with anybody. And I'm not telling you not to, but I'm saying that in order to make sure that you stay in control of this process, it's important that you're not letting anybody get into your head or influence what you're trying to do. You know, don't let any of those negative Nancy's tell you, oh, you're not gonna be able to lose weight or you can't do that. I personally like to keep things to myself until I'm well into the journey because I don't like people getting into my head. So just feel free to keep this to yourself until you're at a point in your own journey where you feel comfortable telling people what you've been doing and what changes you've been making that are working for you. And finally, be kind to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Be compassionate. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend. Do not get down on yourself if you have a week that you're out of whack. Just be kind. Tell yourself that you have to celebrate every little milestone. And even when you fall off, it's important to tell yourself that you can start again. Any day can be day one. You know, allow yourself softness where it's necessary. The real key to this is longevity. We want to create long, sustainable habits. It's not about abrupt change. As we keep saying, it's about the small little steps that are going to lead to that new lifestyle. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please give it some love down below. Let me know in the comment section what you guys are doing to get your life back on track. Let's do this together as a community and make sure that we support each other as we're getting ourselves back together. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one.